Good morning. I'm Doug Keating, and this is Letter to Sons. Happy Sunday to you. Today, I'm going to talk about attitudes. If there's one thing our world could use a little bit more of right now, it's people with good attitudes. Quick reminder, for the next several weeks, I'm sharing life lessons that my father taught me. Today's lesson is positive attitudes are contagious in a good way. The word contagious probably scares some of you. I'll explain what I mean in a little bit. My first duty assignment as a U.S. Army infantry officer was with the 82nd Airborne Division, all the way. My arrival at Fort Bragg happened just as the unit was returning from Operation Desert Storm. That was the first war in Iraq. I was put in charge of an infantry rifle platoon. I had completed the training expected of a new infantry lieutenant, like Ranger School and Jumpmaster School, but was scared and intimidated by this assignment. The main reason was every member of my platoon had combat experience, except me. What could I offer these veterans? I was about to learn about attitudes. I was clueless, so I called my dad. His first duty assignment after graduating from West Point was with the 82nd Airborne. He had more combat experience than anyone I knew. He reassured me that I was fit for duty and would be fine. I pressed him, wondering how could I lead men that possessed more experience and expertise than me? My father offered a piece of advice that I remember well. He told me, bring a positive attitude to work every day. Attitudes are contagious. You are the leader and you set the tone for the unit. Bad attitudes spread like cancer. A positive attitude will give your men a boost when they need it most. Set high expectations, praise them when they do well, correct them when they fall short, and never, ever forget that praise is a force multiplier. That advice has served me well. I remember one summer, my platoon was selected to perform a demonstration airborne operation at Fort Gordon for the two-star general in charge of the Signal Corps and other VIPs on the post, to include my battalion commander. That's my boss's boss, so it needed to go well. My platoon prepared hard for this day. We were ready to put on an awesome demonstration for the crowd. All was going well until we exited the aircraft. I was first out of the plane and could tell right away that we were going to miss the drop zone. I clearly remember shaking my fist at the Air Force pilot that put us out over the trees, knowing full well that I was going to be executing a tree landing. In case you don't know, tree landings are no fun and actually pretty dangerous. The landing was rough. Rough. Once on the ground, my platoon gathered at the edge of the woods for a quick huddle. We were all pretty bruised and battered from the jump. My platoon sergeant asked me for guidance about how to proceed. My father's advice came to mind. I looked at the group and said the jump was rough and everyone in the audience would understand if we took our time moving to the assembly area in front of the bleachers where they sat. After all, they had clearly seen that we all landed in the trees. But we are paratroopers. Americans expect more from us, and we will deliver. That said, I took off running, not sure knowing what the platoon would do and how they would respond. Every member followed my lead and eventually ran past me en route to the assembly area. I was the last one there. The rest of the demonstration was flawless. Afterward, my battalion commander, my boss's boss, let me know that the demonstration was impressive and how proud he was of our performance despite the challenging conditions. The positive attitude paid off. Today's quote comes from the U.S. Army Ranger Creed's second stanza, which gets into this idea of have a good attitude when there's high expectations of you. Second stanza goes, acknowledging the fact that a Ranger is a more elite soldier who arrives at the cutting edge of battle by land, sea, or air, I accept the fact that as a Ranger, my country expects me to move further, faster, and fight harder than any other soldier. So what's the main takeaway from this life lesson? Think about your attitude. I'm not saying be naive and walk around acting like everything's great and you should be happy all the time and have a big smile painted on your face. Lord knows, given everything that's going on in the world right now, that would be naive for me to say. What I am saying is, though, when you have the opportunity to choose your attitude, I recommend, and my father taught me, it's best to walk in with a good attitude because attitudes are contagious in a good way. I'm Doug Keating. This is Letter to Sons. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to click on the subscribe button so that you get the next one. And feel free to share it with your friends.